Hi, my name is Julian, and this little thing is the football news show. Pretty much what we cover is everything in the world of football, from goals, news, general highlights, and anything else we find interesting along the way. This show will be airing 5 days a week, and we'll be bringing you all the latest news we can. So our first update ever, we're talking about Fernando Torres. Now many of you probably know him as the ex-Liverpool footballer. Well, now he's making his trade at Atletico Madrid. In their latest game, which finished 1-1 against Deportivo La Coruña, Fernando Torres suffered of what seemed like a really bad head injury. He was taken to hospital. He was unconscious most of the way there in the ambulance. Luckily, he woke up. They'd done a CT scan, and they kept him overnight. But it looks like everything is going to be totally fine, and that's really, frankly, fantastic news to hear. I know he's had a few rough patches here and there, but it looks like he's kind of found his home again at Atletico Madrid, and it's good to see him not suffering badly at all. Our second story of today is about Barcelona. Now, yes, they have gone top of the table, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. However, the big news here is that Luis Enrique has decided to leave the club in the summer. Now, he said this in a press conference after their latest victory against Sporting Gijón on the weekend, which finished 6-1. And everyone's been throwing around names, so I thought I would maybe say my opinion and just throw out some of the candidates that seem to be up for the job. So we've got some interesting ones. We've got Pochettino from Tottenham. He's been bandied about a bit. What I think is a massive outsider, Arsene Wenger. Now everyone knows his contract is up at the end of the year. Whether he goes there or not, frankly, I'll be flabbergasted. I think I see him staying at Arsenal a bit longer, whether Arsenal fans love it or they don't. Some that I think are a bit more reasonable is Unzu, the current assistant manager to Luis Enrique, who's been there and abouts for a while, has played for the club, and I reckon he definitely want the job. Other candidates, and my particular personal favourite for the job would be Sampaoli, who currently manages Sevilla in La Liga and is doing, quite frankly, a really good job with them. He plays attacking, exciting football, and would be something that a lot of Barcelona fans would be really excited to see. Now, contrary to my opinion, one of the favourites I've seen bandied about a lot as well has been Ernesto Valverde. Now, he's the current Atletico Bilbao manager. He played for Barcelona between 1988 and 1990. Following his playing career at Barcelona, he's gone on to do a really great job at Athletic Bilbao, winning their first Spanish Super Cup in a really long time against Barcelona in a 4-0 victory. So there's a lot of positives there, there's a lot of familiarity, and quite a few different news sources are saying that he appears to be a pretty safe pair of hands. The only thing I would say in contrary to that is that Athletic Bilbao do play a really different style to Barcelona, quite obviously, and I think it would be really interesting to see if he could adapt and continue that kind of Barcelona way. Now, continuing the Barcelona theme, after defeating Sporting Gijón 6-1 in their latest game, they've gone top of the table since the opening stage of the season. Obviously, Real Madrid have a game in hand still and are only 1 point behind. However, Barcelona and Real Madrid play each other later on in the season, so really it's anyone's game. Real Madrid doing so well earlier in the season, going on that record-breaking run. After Bale got himself sent off, and I mean Cristiano Ronaldo did come back with 2 goals, but they just seem to continue to stumble. It'll be really close going into the end of the season. Guys, let me know who you think will win La Liga. I'm personally going to put my bet on Real Madrid still just by a little bit, but it could go anywhere. In other news, in Serie A, Juventus got another win in the top of the table clash against Napoli, leaving them 7 points clear at the moment of AS Roma. Now, is it as easy as that? Is Serie A over? Personally, I think so. I see Juventus winning this pretty easily from here on. Moving on, Rooney might be leaving Manchester United this summer, not in a big sum of money to go to China or something like that, but possibly even in a deal with Manchester United where they will pay him out and let him leave on a free. Now, personally, I don't know if that's something that will happen. I feel like if Wayne Rooney is going to go anywhere else, he'll probably have to go for some money. I don't see Manchester United just giving him away for free, especially when paying him out on his contract will cost them so much money. At the end of the day, Manchester United can really afford whatever they want. So on the other hand, it might happen, but I don't see it being too likely. Finally, latest stuff in the Premier League. Now this week we've got Premier League fixtures everywhere. We've got Manchester United against Bournemouth. Now if they win, Manchester United will finally come out of that 6th league spot, which I know a lot of people have been making fun of them for, but you know, this could turn into a really good season for them depending on what happens. Leicester City take on Hull City. Now this, you're a brave person if you're putting a bet on this game. Leicester seemingly revitalised after sacking Claudio Ranieri. Really, with Shakespeare, it's still too early to tell whether he'll be some type of successor that'll get them back to their proper form and whether he'll end up keeping that job in the first place. But I see, in a really revitalised Hull City, I see them being a really tough proposition for Leicester, and I see Hull City going on to win this game. Then we've got Stoke against Middlesbrough, we've got Swansea against Burnley, we've got Watford against Southampton, we've also got West Brom against Crystal Palace, and finally, the big one, Liverpool against Arsenal. Liverpool somehow always seem to lose to bottom of the table teams and mid-tier opposition, but I think they'll be really up for the game against Arsenal, and I personally can see them winning this game, but we'll see how it goes. I don't see Arsenal being any slouches. They've been on a pretty poor run of form themselves, but I think this will be a really closely contested game with Liverpool just about coming up above them. So that's the first episode of the Football News Show. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to see what we could possibly improve on, and I'd love to see who you think will win in those games we've talked about on the weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow with all the latest updates. Cheers.